Welcome back for your yummy update. Guns ready. Got to get those bears, baby dolls. Uncle Peter Schiff, of course. No one's surprised. He's saying to sell everything and sell it immediately. Uncle Peter Schiff, the Winklevoss Gemi is down 15% today, hitting a new low. The stock only started trading in September and it's already down 70% from its high and nearly 50% down from its IPO. The entire crypto sector is getting decimated. The carnage is far from over. Sell Bitcoin now. Uncle Peter Schiff saying, sell it all. Very interesting. Okay, very interesting. Samurai Guardian, urgent bottom signal equals imminent pump. I hope so, my friend. Remember, Uncle Peter Schiff was a top signal in 2021. All right, I've told this to you many times. No one in crypto talks about it, ever. I've never, not one other, no, KOL, Twitter guy, no one has ever, except me, brought this to anyone's attention. He was the top signal from 2021, okay? And it was literally, we crossed $50,000 right here in Feb. And he made that tweet, friends. I made entire videos on it where he says, now that Bitcoin has crossed 50,000, I will admit it could get to 100,000 first. But it's still going to zero and it's not worth anything. That's his capitulation, dude. Because you got to remember, and I really mean, fans, you got to think, okay, every single daily candle on the way up, he says it's topped, every single way. Okay, however, when we finally got to 50K, he says, look, okay, it hasn't topped. It could go up a 2x, but then it's topped. That was the top. That's wild, man. And like, we never thought, like, oh, yeah, because you didn't think, wait, Uncle Peter Schiff's calling for 100K. Oh, that means it's definitely happening. Nope. No, it's not. The majority of the crowd are in two camps, my friends. Remember, there are two camps. Look at this. Isn't this cute? SpongeBob and Patrick. Look how cute they are. I'll put these nice pictures here for you. So, the majority of the crowd, okay, the first half have sold anywhere from 30 to 70% of their portfolios. They want everything just to go down. They think before your cycle starts, it's finished, okay? That's one camp. The majority of the other camp, okay, they want a fast, parabolic Bitcoin rally to 150K so they can click sell as well, okay? So, max pain is slow, grindy upwards. Slow. Okay, no parabolic move, just slow. That would be max pain. I don't know if we're going to get it. I don't know anything, friends. Bitcoin hovering around here, but you don't want that. You're like, yeah, I want a fast big blow off too. I want Bitcoin to go to 150 and then Ethereum to go to 9,000 and everything to rotate. I want that too. I'm just letting you know, okay? I'm also letting you know to believe in something. It's up to you and me to make it, friends. I know it's very tough. It's been a long time. Mr. Richard K, we are near the finish line. Are we, sir? No, I mean, like you know, crypto is all about liquidity, and they've just stopped QT. Okay. The thing is, though, we don't know how long they're going to wait to then do the QE part. Okay, which is where they increase their balance sheet, which is right here. That's what we don't know, friends. I mean, technically, they are like, you know, this could go on. Like, obviously, we don't want this scenario, but it could happen. Technically, they pause the balance sheet for 12 months. Something cracks in the economy, and then they do QE. That could happen. But also, remember, I had that weird dream where something cracks faster than we think. Okay, remember, I had that weird dream. I didn't expect it. But I just had this dream where, like, I'm making videos and I'm calling out Major Loser Power. I go, you freaking dirty, bug-eyed, reptilian, sick truck lizard. Go, you almost half convinced everybody that the economy could run without this liquidity injection drug stuff. That's what I was going through. But, you know, we're just guessing. You see this chart floating around, friends, a stimulus pump. These are the times they've given us a different stimulus package from before. These were during desperate measures. This was 2020, okay? This is zombie virus stuff. And yes, they did lead to big moves. Is everyone going to get a $2,000 stimulus package? I hope it does. I hope the people deserve more than that. I've also, like, you know, I'm very convinced if they cut rates down 2.5 basis points, like huge, no inflation's coming. I don't think any inflation. I mean, look around, friends. People are literally, they can barely breathe. Okay, literally people can just barely breathe. They just need relief. Okay, inflation comes because everyone's like, oh, everything's going to be great and everything out here. No, they can barely breathe, right? I actually kind of think as well, if they cut rates, if Major Loser Powell, when he leaves next year, May, and they install a puppet, I wonder, like, I think if they cut rates straight away, we might not even see a big explosion as much as we think. People might be in disbelief, right? Because of the shock of what we went through in 2020, where they cut rates to zero, they put the world zombie virus, they printed money, and they hiked rates up, and they just killed everybody. You know, that volatility, it leaves a strong mark on you, you know, because you're like, oh, you cut rates today, but you could just go hike them again in 3 months and you ruin me anyway. Yeah, and then I'm wrecked. That's why it's psychological damage what they've done. And that is why, my friends, when we're looking at the PMI, that's why we have this black swan damage. And it really is black swan damage, okay? That's why literally this thing 36 months down, yeah, that's why it's been this for so long. You know? And last time this happened, by the way, it was literally 1929, Great Depression. Okay, that's why the government now knows when things are going bad, you have to plug the hole very fast. Okay, the longer you leave the hole unplugged, the more psychological damage happens to people. Okay, they liquidate, because what happens is when people liquidate, you know, they don't just go, oh, they're not crypto retardios and schizos like us, fans. They don't just go, oh, sweet, I'll just gamble tomorrow. No, that's not normal. Okay, we are not normal. Okay, what happens is they liquidate, you know. Then they got to move states. They got to take the kids out of school. They have to have a discussion with their wives. And they go, okay, that's it. There's been some big changes in this family, right? We're not buying that extra premium cereal that we get anymore. We're eating like wood chips, literally pieces of wood. That's it for the next 5 years. And they commit to that. Okay? You don't just go switch back. And that's actually what happened in the silent generation. They lived through the Great Depression. It was only able to buck the trend because they had the baby boomer kids. That's why. The kids grew up, turned 16, 17, 18. Now you're in the 1980s. And then because they have new memories. Okay, they didn't live through the war. Okay, then they all start spending. Okay, it's literally a whole generation gone. Yeah, just think about that. It's literally like 17 years wasted. That's why the government knows when the Ponzi starts deflating, you have to step in straight away. Okay? Also, friends, lots of retailers are selling crypto and leaving. This is good. 76% of investors have no crypto exposure. This is up from 67% in September, as per Bank of America. St. Wolf couldn't be more excited. Shiva, why is this good? Because Mr. Shiva, or Mrs. Shiva, you know, could be it. With markets, right, everything's a cycle, yeah. And remember, bull markets end when you run out of buyers. Okay, bull markets end, you just run out of buyers. Okay, you don't know when you're going to run out of buyers. No one knows that. Okay, but you look for clues. Okay, part of the clue that you're running out of buyers is like, you know, you ever hear that famous example in Great Depression days where they say, oh, even the shoe shine kid was giving me stock tips. Yeah, it's showing you everybody's long. All the money is in. Okay, therefore it's the maximum price it could ever be. So if we start saying like, oh, everyone's allocated, then yeah, that's very, very bad. Because if everyone's allocated, where are the currency units going to come from? Exactly. That means it's very, very high. That's why we like seeing this confirmation where people hate crypto and they don't want to look at it and they're not here anymore. Okay, that's what we like seeing. Also, friends, there was some big news that came out in the past 24 hours. Uniswap is now officially going to be turning on their protocol fee switch. So in their code, friends, remember, if you provide liquidity on Uniswap by default, 0.30% goes to the liquidity provider fees. But there is a fee switch where they can make it 25 and then 5 will go somewhere else. Now, they've had this for literally 5 years. And I used to have Uni. And I was on their forums and I was DMing them in Discord and I was trying to get them to please activate this protocol fee switch. And they told me to go get stuffed, literally. And they said, no, you don't get it because this... I'm not making this up, by the way. They said, no, this ruins decentralization because you're buying up these useful governance voting... I'm not making this up, by the way. They literally told me this, okay? They go, no, you shouldn't do a buy and burn because you're chewing up the voting governance protocols. And look, you know what? This explaining it to you is just going to piss me off so much. I'm just going to start shooting people out. All right, it just pisses. I'm not even going to bother explaining it to you, the bullshit excuse they gave to me. But if I ever see any of this unit team in real life, I'm going to bitch slap them myself for this bullshit excuse that they gave me. Token went down only. They're in a total abomination. The SEC brings them in. And then they hand over all the information for the crypto industry. And then the SEC, because they were going like freaking turbo nuclear bad, the SEC turns on Uniswap. So then they get double backstabbed like a double freaking triple agent James Bond movie action thing here. And then Uniswap's just a company now full of soy. And yeah, this is just a sad state they've come. So now finally, after 5.5 years, they're like, oh, we're actually going to put in the protocol fee switch. Oh, gosh. I guess it's good, but whatever. All right. Thing is as well, friends, like they've done 3 trillion in volume already. I calculated their token should be bigger than Tether. They should have about 120 billion market cap right now. Right now they're only about 5. Okay, so wasted opportunity. That you know what? I learned the lesson for life. What was the lesson I learned? Okay, I thought humans are rational in terms of they will make the best decision to be profitable and make money. How stupid of me to make that assumption. Wrong. Totally wrong. I watched the freaking, and you did too, you literally just watched a whole entire industry, sector, group of people, community just self-sabotage themselves. That's it. They're sitting in the hotel cuck chair. Okay? They're sitting in the hotel cuck chair and they paid for the guy's lunch and they paid for his ticket to get there and they paid for his friends to watch and they paid for the production video and they don't even like want a profit share of the movie as well and their wife gets desecrated and then they pay for a new tattoo on her leg which is another dude's name. Do you know what I mean? It makes no sense, but they did it. Okay, that's one thing I learned. Okay, so never assume that just because you can see a clear path to profitability that whoever's in charge of the asset's going to do the same thing. Okay, big mistake. Also something funny, friends. Let me know if this is the same experience with you, friends. I've seen 14 warning videos saying prepare for a big crash. But I haven't seen a single person say, warning, you are about to get mega rich in 2026. It sounds silly, doesn't it, by the way? Okay, it does. Let's crank it a bit. It sounds really absurd. That's why I say that in the mirror. I go, huh, you're going to get mega rich in 2026. And I'm like, man, that looks so 0% chance. Which actually, you know, in markets, right? That means it's actually likely. Yeah. All I'm just saying is bear market next year, bear market next year. Go, bear market's either started or we're going to go to quick rally of 150k BTC. Everyone's clicking sell, the buyback cheaper next year. I don't know, man. I don't know. There's just, I don't know. This AI war, this QT's ending, $2,000 stimulus. I just don't know about that. I just don't know, friend. There's these things that are building up right now. Too many people know, bro. Oh, you think it's just easy? Oh, you click sell. Guess what? You're the only genius in the world who's ready to click out. So all these institutions with 10-year horizons who are DCA buying into crypto, who are like, you know, the banks who are adopting everything and allowing their customers to buy. Okay, so you've outsmarted them, right? Because that's actually what's happening. Well, let's think about it. Remove the charts. Who's selling here and who's buying? Who's selling? Retail. Why? 4-year cycle. Okay? Who's buying? Wall Street. Tom Lee's buying. Okay. Now, I don't know who wins. It's just that's the picture right now. So, one cohort of people saying, guess what? Every 4 years we go down, so I'm clicking out. And then Wall Street's like, oh, we're going to offer this to all our clients and customers and banks and stablecoin super cycle. And this is running with AI and stimulus and liquidity. Okay, so we're going to be buying here. We don't care about your 4-year cycle. I wonder who wins, right? Like, subscribe, Billy Button, all. Catch you in the next one.